Hi everyone, and welcome back to Living Intuitively with Elisa. So this is the weekly tarot pull for the week of April 26th through May 2nd. I can't believe it's already going to be May. And I also feel like I say that every single month, but it's so strange that it's already almost May. And I feel like I have to say that the regularly scheduled monthly podcast with guests will be delayed, but I also feel like I don't need to explicitly say that because I feel like everything that's regularly scheduled these days is having to be reframed or reimagined in a new way. And I'm using those words wisely. I'm choosing my words wisely because instead of talking about how we are delaying our life and that, things will get back to normal soon. This is our life right now, and we can't minimize the effect of it on our life right now. So what is usual and what is, quote, regularly scheduled is just different right now. And that's okay. It's okay. Everything can be different. And we can find new ways to schedule things, to still have some positivity in our life and some regular scheduling, but things are different and we can't deny that fact. So, that being said, the monthly podcast is going to be at a different date than usual. I've been trying to keep it around the first or second week of every month. But with everything going virtual these days, it's different. We're having to schedule things in a different way. So stay tuned. You can check the Instagram account. The handle is Intuition Living for more details when I announce when the next episode's going to be released. But let's live in the now. So let's get to the weekly tarot pull. So, again, this is the weekly tarot pull for April 26th through May 2nd of 2020. So before I get started, I'm only going to be pulling from my Rider-Waite-Smith deck today. And last week I pulled a card from my Yogic Path deck. And I'm really excited because I ordered 2 new decks, one that is a new tarot deck and one that is an oracle deck. And I'm excited to start including more than just the Rider-Waite-Smith decks in my weekly tarot episodes. But for now, what I have right now is the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. So before I get started in shuffling and pulling the card, let's take a moment. Anyone who's listening, anybody who needs this message, let's take a moment and recenter ourselves with our breath. So if you can, take a moment to find a comfortable seat wherever you are, even if you have screaming children around you or pets climbing all over you. Take a moment to close your eyes. Take a couple deep breaths, just feeling this present moment, feeling safe in this moment. Take a deep breath in, long breath out. Again, take a full, deep breath in. Long, full breath out. And just knowing that you're supported, and held in this moment by not only me, but the whole community, everybody who is listening to this podcast, and the community, the collective. I'm not only just pulling these cards for myself and for you, the listener, but also I'm pulling from a source of energy that is the collective. So soak in those energies, but know that whatever you're feeling, whatever is coming up today and every day is perfect and for you, and feel safe in that moment. All right, so I'm going to start shuffling the cards for our weekly tarot pull. One thing that I want to note, that one exciting thing that I have in store for all of us, is that I'm starting a intuitive Mondays. So hashtag intuitive Mondays. And you can check that out on Instagram and on the private Facebook group. So the private Facebook group is Private Intuitive Tarot Community. I'll put a link to that tarot Facebook group in my Instagram bio. Go check that out. It's a community of tarot readers and intuitive healers of all experiences. So you can be just curious with no experience in tarot, or you can be an experienced tarot reader and you'll benefit from this community, because it's an opportunity to learn and to share and to grow together. Because even though we have our intuition on our side, sometimes it's nice to have a community of like-minded people to share experiences. But what I wanted to share was that I'm starting an Intuitive Mondays. So every Monday I'm going to pose a question for the community to answer with their tarot cards and with their intuition. You can join on there, even if you don't have tarot cards or oracle cards. Join in there just for the discussion. We can pull from our intuition even without cards present. You know, it's like everybody has it in a certain way, but sometimes you just know things, you know, and that's intuition. All right, so as I'm shuffling, I'm asking the cards for the universe. What advice does the universe have for the collective, for the community, for anybody who's listening and open for this message? All right, so as I fan out the cards and look for a card that is speaking to me or jumping out at me for the collective, for this community, and that card is, oh, all right, let's do this. So the card that I pulled is the Nine of Swords, and I pulled it upright. And this card depicts, you can look it up on Google, or if you're looking it on video, you can see that it depicts a person in bed with his hands, or with the person's face in their hands. And in the background, or on the wall behind the person, beside the bed, are 9 swords, all pointing in one direction. And they're kind of overlapping and stacking on top of each other. And behind that, the wall behind it is all black. So this is one of the darker cards of the tarot deck. And it's in the minor arcana, so it is more temporary than pulled in the cards in the major arcana, but that doesn't minimize the darkness of the card. This card signifies or depicts regret, sorrow, dread, nightmares. The swords represent the mind, and it represents the air element. And so if you imagine the swords as the mind, you can imagine that these piercing, it's a piercing pain, but of the mind. And so you can imagine if you set this scene, if you're watching this scene unfold, you're imagining that this person has woken up from a dream or a nightmare, or woken up out of insomnia, or maybe the person can't sleep or hasn't been able to stay asleep because they wake up and they are in pain and crying, maybe sobbing in their bed at night. The idea that I pull this in, or the fact that I pull this in the upright position, shows that this feeling that we're having, this regret, this sadness, this sorrow, is all out for everybody to see. And I don't think I need to, I think I can speak for a lot of us that we're feeling sadness and sorrow during this time. We can't deny that we know people or have experienced ourselves sorrow and heartbreak and pain during this time. And that it's keeping us up at night. Whether or not we actually are experiencing it firsthand, we can feel the collective energy of the sorrow in the world. And if you look on the bed, there's an engraving of a battle of some sort. So it's a person sticking a sword towards someone else who's on the ground. We're about to slash down at the person on the ground. So it's loss. The battle has been lost. So overall, this is a pretty sad and dark card. But the idea is to find comfort in whatever way is possible to get you through these times. The good thing about minor arcana cards is that it's temporary, especially in the upright position. There are steps you can take to get out of this sorrow. You are in charge of your own fate and your own destiny and your own future. So even though you're feeling like this now, reach out to someone. This might also represent someone else in your life. Reach out to them. Reach out to the people that you haven't heard from in a while. Put yourself in their shoes and recognize their sorrows and their pain. And comfort them. What I see is this bright blanket over the person. You know, everything in this card is dark and black and sharp. You know, those nine swords. But you have this comfortable looking blanket over the person. So maybe if this is you, if you are feeling pain, find that comfort. Reach out to someone you love. Find some self-care practices to comfort yourself. And if this is someone that you know, if this represents someone that you know, be that comforting blanket for them. Remind those who are close to you, who are suffering, that they can be safe, and they can be supported. This is a reminder that we're all human. We all have sorrows and pains and emotions that keep us up at night. Don't deny them. Don't run from them. You know, part of what's great about the minor arcana and upright position is that you can face it. Change your approach on it. Alright, so the 9 of Swords, upright. Take care of yourself and take care of your family. Be that comforting blanket. So, if you have any questions, or if you want to reach out, please feel free to contact me on my Instagram. It is Intuition Living. Check out the Facebook group. And I hope to see you next time. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast, supporting me in every way. All right, have a great week. Bye.